it's your girl R.A.E, aka Rising Above Everything, and in collaboration with Reebok and my new song Imposter, I decided to bring my friends down to have a conversation. So friends, introduce yourselves.
Hey guys, my name is Shae Universe.
Hi, I'm Mysie.
And I'm Jords.
I feel like I would define imposter syndrome as ultimately it's just doubting yourself, really. It's just doubting your ability. I think that's pretty much where it stems from.
I think for me, it's not being able to internalize your accomplishments. It's not being able to believe that you've actually accomplished and you believe that you actually deserve to achieve those things.
I was gonna say the same, like feeling like you don't deserve the things that you're receiving in life. Yeah.
Doubting that you deserve the opportunity you've been given or handed to you because, like maybe what you've heard outside of yourself.
I think on a deeper level, it's like not deserving love, really. Underneath everything, innit? It's like, because it's usually about good things, usually about receiving love from the world or whatever, and not feeling like you deserve it. So.
That's interesting. I feel like, personally, I feel like I've experienced imposter syndrome before, but in my case, it wasn't necessarily that I felt like I didn't deserve it though. Because I'm a thorough person with myself, I try my hardest to keep my heart clean and stuff. So I feel like, yes, I do deserve the good things that come to me. But I think sometimes it can also stem from like, not knowing your worth yet. That doesn't necessarily mean you don't believe you deserve it. It's just like different people have different stages where they have to experience certain things to then understand, okay, this is what I'm worth, these are my boundaries. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it can come from different places, I think. But...
That's also true though. No, and it takes time to accept that, whatever it is, innit? Whether it's knowing your worth is more like self-love, I'd say, and giving boundaries, basically saying this is what I'm worth. It's the same form of love, and maybe on a deeper level it's not about deserving, just whether you are open to receiving it. You know what I mean? Yeah, because you have to be open to receiving your blessings as much as, do you know what I mean?
But see, like for me, like when I came into like music, I felt like all the opportunities I was given, it kind of just fell into my lap. So I used to like compare myself to people who've been in the game longer. Like how come I feel like I'm doing more than what they've achieved, and I used to question that, like I don't know if I deserve what I have. So that's where it stems from for me.
It gets to a point where you don't even know who you are. Like you don't know who you are. You don't know how you feel. It's lost. It's a confusing space to be in for sure.
Nah, I've doubted the other side of it, like whether I'm mentally strong enough, but I've been sick of music. Do you know what I mean? Like even I like football, I've been good at football. You can't, whatever it is, you can't take that from me. It's just whether I'm mentally driven enough to take it all the way where it should be, where everyone should see it, if that makes sense.
I have many times. I think there's dips and there's top bits and there's, what's the saying? That's
highs and lows?
There's highs and lows.
What's so weird? I never actually started doubting my talent until I entered the music industry.
That's the same as me.
Yeah.
Really?
So interesting.
I never started doubting my talent until I entered the music industry, and I think I only ever started doubting my talent. Now, based on what you explained, actually, I don't know if I ever really doubted my talent or if I just doubted my ability to fit into what people made me feel like I needed to fit into. You know what I'm saying? Because my talent has always been my talent, really. So based on that, you should never ever doubt yourself, because what you have inside you is never gonna leave. Like that's your gift. But I think I doubted my ability to conform or to fit in, because I thought that was the right thing to do, whether that's, the way that I sing or the way that I look, or, And as a dark-skinned woman as well in this industry, like we all know it, but man, the amount of times that we are told directly or indirectly how to be, or, who to be in order to be relevant or to make it and all that kind of stuff. So I think, that is definitely what led me to doubt myself. But Not anymore, child.
Yeah. No.
Not anymore.
I'm the same as Shae. Like, I never used to doubt myself. I always like knew I was talented until I came into the music industry. But it was only for a short amount of time because I thought like, oh, once I put music out, maybe like my hometown would celebrate me. But then I realized that going where you're celebrated and not tolerated is the way forward. So when I realized that my fan base is actually international, that's when I was like, oh, you know what, I am talented because I'm reaching. Yeah.
To add like a point onto that as well, I feel like when it comes to doubting yourself and stuff, there comes a point where you like break through it. So for example, I said I came into the industry and like that's when I first started doubting myself and stuff. But then after I got over that, whilst being me, still being myself, and you see that, wow, people still love me, like people still gravitate towards my music, you know what I mean? It makes it a lot easier then to be like, well, I don't need to doubt myself, you know? Personally, I feel like my music encourages my audience to reflect on themselves and be thorough with themselves. And I think that my music also encourages healing, like personal healing.
I like that.
I second that. Personal healing for me. I mean, I make music to heal, and it's a cathartic experience for me. So I just want to share that with people.
Well, straight away, what comes to my mind is music, obviously, because I'm a music artist. I think classic. To be classic when it comes to music is just to create timeless music, you know, music that you can play today, you can play in the next 20 years and people will still resonate to it the same way, you know? So yeah, that's definitely what I would define as like a classic. What makes a classic? I think that's subjective when it comes to music, but just, you know, something that makes you feel. Yeah, something that makes you feel.
I completely agree. It's timelessness. It's being timeless.
You think of everything that's classic in your mind. Like I said, as we're musicians, the first thing you think of is classic albums. What makes the album classic is like it just being different to the time that it's in. You can kind of tell when something's either of the time that it's in perfectly, like it sums that time up perfectly. When you were 18, you remember the albums you were playing, for example, or when everything else is going this way, it just goes that way, and it's uncompromising and itself. Yeah.
That's the word, uncompromising.
Uncompromising, yeah.
I feel like classic leathers remind me of when I was in school, when like people used to clash each other in the playground, like do them little rap battles and stuff. And I don't know if that's just me or my school experience, but there was a point in time, I guess it was around the grime era as well actually, but people were just, you know, it's when like, we've brought it back now, but it's when people would like slick their hair and stuff and like had all the tag names, baby this or princess this, like, yeah, that's what I would associate classic leathers with.
I remember my dad used to like make me clean my shoes. We used to get us leather school shoes. We had one pair and we have to make it stretch for the whole year. So he'd make us polish the shoes every Sunday. We're on a proper like, listen, you got to do this now. Then you do the polish. There's like a brush, you polish it with a brush, then you shine it with the other brush. And then you get another brush and you do an extra shine with that. And he made me do that every Sunday.
I think it's important to stand for something in the world that we live in, because if you don't, you will definitely be misled. There are so many things in this world that are pulling us in so many different directions that I feel like it's important to know what you believe in and what you stand on.
I've always been inquisitive, so I just question everything. And if I feel something's wrong, there's just a voice that you get from like deeper within you that tells you that you have to just stand for that anyway. So even without it being a conscious thing. And then I think when you don't want to stand for that, that's the conscious thing. You consciously don't stand for it. You know what I mean? Because you know in your head and in your soul that you're not doing the thing that you feel is really right. So yeah, I find it easier to not stand for something, if that makes sense.
Thank you guys so much for joining me with this conversation. I really enjoyed it. Did you guys enjoy it?
Yes.
Of course.
Until next time.